Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at some Hiya Toys Godzillas. This is the Godzilla 1991 Hokkaido Battle version, and then the same thing that is the Heat Ray version of that same thing. You can see them there. I don't get review samples from this company anymore. I don't know if they got mad at me or what, but I don't get review samples. But I bought these on my own just to review for you guys because a lot of you have been asking me for more Hiya Toys reviews. So hopefully this is one you guys want to see. This is one of the Godzilla suits that I kind of like, so I figured I'd pick this one, and they released these at basically the same time, so I thought, what the heck, I'll do it. But you guys better watch the video. If I don't get any views on this, I'm not doing it anymore. You can't do anything about that, I know. But I can't make content for things that don't get views, and a lot of the Hiya stuff didn't get a lot of views. So we'll see, maybe these do, I don't know. It probably would have been better if I got review samples and could do it earlier. These are out. There's a link in the description below if you want to buy them, but this is them. So let's go ahead and get them just moved out of the way because I couldn't fit them on the stand, and I'll show you my package. Alright, they're kind of out of the way there. Here's the first package. I think they look nice. I think the photo here looks so much better than the actual product, though. I mean, it's some really generous lighting. Obviously, we have the very warm lighting there, and it makes the figure look really good. It doesn't look that good in person. I don't like the heads very much. Now, here's the other thing I should mention. I'm not a Goji expert. I know, we call him Goji, we Godzilla fans because of Gojira. No, I'm joking. I don't know much about Godzilla. I've seen it. I have a few that I like, and that's it. So you guys can comment on how accurate it is to the source material. I know between Hiya and Monster Arts, there's a lot of arguing whether or not one's better than the other. I like Hiya because they're cheaper and bigger, and none of them pose well anyway. So I like them a lot, and they maybe aren't perfect, but they still look nice. So you guys can let me know. What you think about the accuracy. And then here's this one, which has a lot of Photoshop going on there, but it's a nice looking package nonetheless. So if you're into packaging, at least the front looks nice. But yeah, even there, like, the figure does not look that good. I don't know if they changed it prior to release or what, but it doesn't look as good. This looks fairly reasonable. I don't know, it doesn't look as good in person to me. But again, as far as accuracy goes, you guys can judge that and let me know if you are a Goji expert. I'm going to use that term. I don't know if anybody else uses that term. Maybe it's a thing, and I'm not even being funny, but I'm trying. Alright, so he stands about 8 5/8, give or take. Of course, you could pose him differently to see how you want him to be, but that's going to be about 17 centimeters. Here he is up against a Marvel Legends Darwin. So he's not, obviously, he's not Godzilla sized at really any scale other than, like, I don't know, 1/200th scale? I have no idea what it would be technically, but he's very small for Godzilla, but big compared to, like, a Monster Arts. So there you go, that's the size. And we're going to set this guy aside because they are the same figure other than the accessories and colors. So we're going to start with just the plain one, and I'll go through things, and then we'll bounce back and forth as necessary. Okay, so let's get into it. He does have a wash on him. I don't know if there's dry brushing. If there is, it's very, very subtle for, like, the main body. But there is definitely a wash that's brown, and it makes him look kind of nice. It's not super uniform. You can see some spots look a little bit different, and there's some gloss here and there where there isn't in other places. But yeah, he does look generally alright. The sculpt is okay. Again, I don't know about actual accuracy. I know, like, all of these companies seem to struggle with Godzilla heads to make them look right. I don't know that this looks exactly the way I remember it looking, so I could be wrong. I'm also probably mixing different Godzillas in my head, but it doesn't look quite right to me. Let me know what you guys think. The head seems really flat and, like, pinched. Is that how it's supposed to look? I don't know. But what is there is clean. The eyes are done pretty well. The teeth are pretty good. The mouth does open, though not a ton. But yeah, he's got his teeth in there, and they look good, and the tongue does articulate a little bit. The claws have a nice paint job on them. Hands and feet, they're really obvious on the feet. But yeah, it generally looks pretty good. The cuts aren't terrible, except for in one spot. The armpits look pretty gross. I don't think that looks great. It's very gappy under the arm. But it's not super obvious from the front because he's got these giant man boobs over here that help him. And then for the fins or spikes, what do you guys call these things? What do you Goji experts call these things? I don't know why I'm doing that. What do you call these? just spikes? Blades? I don't know. They have a frosty white paint job on them, which doesn't look too bad. I think that looks alright. And the one thing that does bother me, though, is it's very gray. Like, I guess it's supposed to be getting brighter as it goes from, like, gray to white, but it's mostly just not colored here, because they're just basically head scales, then very gray, and then fairly white, and then they stay white throughout. But the paint job is decent throughout. I don't really have any issues there. And like I said, the articulation's nice. This is one of the best looking Godzilla tails I've seen. Granted, this design helps a little bit, and it is a longer tail, but it articulates really well, which we'll get to. But it looks decent. So I don't like the transition here in color, unless that's like a source accurate thing that I just don't know about. But otherwise, he looks decent. He looks alright. This one, not the exact same figure with a new accessory. The colors are slightly different. Hopefully that shows up on camera. This guy has a warmer color scheme to him, just slightly. The claws are slightly different colors. The skin tone, if you want to call it skin, is he's not really scaly, so I guess it would be skin. Slightly warmer, slightly brighter. And then the eyes are a big difference. Let me see if I can get in there tight for you. His eyes have a light spot, like for the sclera, the part behind the iris, you can see light there. This guy does not have that. He's just black eyes. Back up. There we go. His eyes are black around there. So maybe that's because he's shooting the ray? Or maybe they just decided to add a paint job. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But otherwise, he looks pretty much the same for the body. Except, obviously, he has this. Which is, I know it's out of focus. Hang on. There we go. He has the blue fin thingies, which are transparent, which look really cool. Translucent. I always say the wrong one. And there's a little bit of blue paintwork going on around here to make it look like it's glowing. But we have kind of the same issue where the transition is a little bit weird looking. This part's more uniform, but then it just goes from this to the glossy-ish white paint job on top of the translucent blue. And then it ends abruptly too. So again, unless these are like super expert level details that are actually the way they're supposed to be, it doesn't look quite right. And then just in case it matters to you, which I kind of doubt it does, but the fin things are a different color as well. They're slightly browner as opposed to white/gray. So there's a little bit of a difference. But really it's just going to come down to, do you want one with the blue fins or not? Because they both look generally the same. Like, if you didn't have them in front of you, you wouldn't notice the differences really. Okay, so there's that. Obviously we have the blue fins, and then the accessory, which we'll get to in a second. But they look decent. I don't think they look great. It's just not enough consistency in the paint jobs and things like that. The little details bug me. But otherwise they look alright. So I'll go 7 out of 10 for the aesthetic. They're fine. And now as far as accessories go, they get an extra set of hands. They each have the same sets of hands. So the normal hands that come on them in the package. Then the slightly style pose martial arts hands. You get those. And then obviously for the heat ray, you get the blast effect, which does peg into his mouth. It is a pain in the butt because if you'll notice, he has some very obvious spikes on this thing right here as they come out of his mouth. And you have to push on those things to get it in his mouth, and that hurts. It's very pointy. It's very pointy. This one could definitely pierce your flesh easily. A few of these could, but this one really. It does peg into his mouth up in the top part of the mouth, and it works. Obviously, it's more plastic and less whatever he shoots, radiation. So it looks a little bit like he's chomping on it as opposed to it actually being an energy effect, but there's no way to get around that, so that's fine. Unfortunately, his head's not quite strong enough to hold it. And it pops off a little bit too easily. So that's a little bit frustrating. But the heat ray is pretty good. It does look a little bit like ice the way they did it. I mean, that's a tricky thing to deal with, but I think it's because it's glossy, although the glossy doesn't really make it look like ice. It just looks weird to me, a little bit weird. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe it's the way they shaded the white on there. It's a nice sculpt, but it's nice enough because Godzilla doesn't normally get blast effects. I don't think I have any that have this right now in my collection. So I kind of like having it. It just looks a little weird. Let me know what you guys think. It's not working for me. There's something off about it. It's hard to say. But that's it for the accessory. So the regular one, just the 2 hands. Heat ray gets the heat ray plus the 2 hands. I guess that's fine. 7 out of 10, nothing special. And now as far as the articulation goes, we're going to set Heat Ray aside, and we're just going to do this one. He's not the most articulated thing, you would be surprised to hear. He is acceptable though, I think. Alright, so obviously we have some different segments here, but you're still not getting a ton done with it. He's got kind of a long neck for Godzilla, and it still doesn't have a ton of range. It's probably just enough. It looks decent doing it. There's no like huge gapping or anything like that, but it is fairly well limited. For the shoulders, that's as high up as they go to the side. They do go down, obviously, and then going forward's a problem because his booby plate right there is going really far out to the side, so his arms only go out to the side, or only go forward when they're pretty much going out to the side. Again, it's Godzilla, so it probably doesn't matter, but he is quite limited in the shoulders. For the elbows, the arms don't really straighten out. That's about it. Then they can bend in a little bit tighter, and you can rotate them around there too. But yeah, he's pretty limited. Ball peg on the wrist. That's pretty good range. For the torso, it's almost nothing. Going forward and back, you get just a little bit. It's actually kind of loose too. Then going side to side, even less. And then your rotation, it's there, but it's just enough to say it's articulated. So it's not one of the more articulated Godzillas, and he's not like he's super fat. He's got the big chunky thighs, but otherwise he's not that. I mean, he's not harder to articulate than most of them. So I'd say maybe they could have done a little bit better. All right, for the hips, you get decent range out of the hips. I don't know that you're going to do much with that. They don't go in and out too much this way, but they do rotate pretty well around, even though it does put the leg at a weird angle. You do get some range out of it. And then for the knee, just like the elbows, very little range. It's there, and you can pose it, but you're not doing much. Ankles are on big old balls, which work pretty well, so that's fine. Now here's the thing. This thing's really nice. This tail is like maybe the best Godzilla tail I've handled. Every segment is articulated, not these individual tiny pieces here, but like every segment that you can see for the spikes, that is articulated. And as you can see, it works pretty darn well. We've got almost a full circle here, and it's a pretty long tail, and it's not floppy. It works. Like, this is a nice tail. It is by far the best part about this figure. The way they sculpted it to articulate and the way they have the tolerances, it moves around nicely, and it just works. I don't really have any issues. The only thing you might have trouble with is getting all the things to line up with, but I mean, with each other, but you can obviously just do that. That's not like a problem for the design or something. It works nicely, and I didn't heat it up or anything either, so you can just get pretty good range out of it. Like, that's nice. I like that tail a bunch. I wish I liked the rest of the figure more, but it's just pretty average otherwise. So, as far as articulation goes, the tail is a 9. The rest of the body's like a 5 or a 6. It's definitely not the best Godzilla I've handled by any company. It's just good enough. If you like this look for Godzilla, if you want this version, it'll be okay. Like, he looks decent, he poses some, but that's it. It's nothing special. It'll just get the job done. So I'm going to give him an overall rating of 7 out of 10. That's going to go for both of them, because I feel basically the same way about Heat Ray version. In fact, I think this one might even be worse because the way they did the transitions from the Heat Ray parts to the non-Heat Ray parts, it just looks like it's an unfinished paint job. The way it's just abrupt. And again, maybe that's some expert level accuracy and I just don't know about it, so that's fine. You can let me know in the comment section below. But I'm not thrilled with it, I'm just okay with it. So yeah, I'm going to stick with that rating. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll be done there. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.